We spend a lot of time trying to create great content for our audiences, things that educate them, etc. A lot of work goes into creating that content or editing it down into bite-sized chunks. What we then want to do is we want to, with as little additional work as possible, reuse that content in other channels outside of where we initially created it. So really kind of create once, reuse and publish in other channels outside of the originating source. Now, how do integrations allow you to do that? How does that work, and how does that make it easy for teams?
Yeah, so probably a couple of things just to cover, because there's two sort of main concepts products typically tend to have to help with this. First of it is sort of their headless API, right? So this is a way for primarily for developers, but also for effectively robots, right? Like integration software, to be able to get data out of that product or service and to put data back into it again. So it's the way that they're able to talk to the product without using the interface, because they obviously can't point and click, right? They're writing code. So you've got that API, everything's got an API, everything good has an API. And then we also typically have the concept of webhooks, and they're sort of like events that occur. So when something happens in a product, like a new page is being created or published, you can then initiate an integration. And that gives effectively us two different ways of doing things. We sort of have like a push model and a pull model. So we prefer push if we can. So that means that I've pressed the publish button in my CMS. It's fired off this webhook event that says a new piece of content is published. Who's interested, right? And an integration sort of puts their hand up and goes, yep, I'm interested. Let me grab that content from your API and push it to somewhere else, right? So it's sort of pulling that content in and pushing it out. And the other model, though, if that's not available, because it's not always available, is that sort of pull model where we can have periodically, we can be going and grabbing data and syncing it and just checking for changes. So integrations sort of move that data around in one of those two ways. And so a good product will be able to have both that headless API so that you can always get the data you need, and also that sort of event-based, sort of trigger-based, webhook-based system to be able to tell other products and other integrations when something has changed.
Thank you again, Greg, for my education of integrations 101.
You're welcome.